Week 29 is complete, done and dusted. Let's have a look at the check-in form, the progress pictures, and see where we are at for this week. As always then, let's start off with the check-in pictures. So you can see here, I was 221 pounds here. What I'm seeing is the condition is holding quite nicely. The arms are definitely starting to fill out. I'm looking along the top line, and the chest isn't looking as, especially the top line, I don't think it's looking as big as, I think it's starting to fall behind a little bit. So it's something that I'm going to definitely look at, making sure that there's that mind muscle connection there rather than just heaving the weight around. I don't think I am, but I'm just going to take a ever so slight kind of review of how I'm training that. So from the side, abs are still in play. Glutes have slight lines. Hamstrings and quads are still there. And overall, I'm not too dissatisfied with this. But you can just see here, I think it also might be something to do with like my upper pec being quite tight. So maybe that's something to be looking at in my mobility routine. From the back, I'm happy. We always look at the glutes first because that is where I hold most of my body fat. So there's still a slight line there, still boxed off slightly. So I'm not unhappy. I don't think pushing the condition any further would be wise, just because it just means muscle's going to have to there's going to be so much body fat to pull off to get stage ready. You can start to see the trunks are starting to cut in there as well. So this is about as far as I'd want to push it. And then same from this side, condition is holding okay. Still quite tight through the midsection, still lines in the quads. I did actually a comparison on my stories today of size and condition versus a week post show. I'm definitely bigger. The arms have definitely got bigger, which is great. But condition obviously went a little bit, considering I'm around 40 pounds up since the lowest stage, lowest prep weight last time. So be interesting to see where we land this time. From here, quads are always quadding for me. There's still lines through there. But again, it's that top line that I'm looking at here. I just need to learn how, maybe it's a posing thing. Maybe I need to learn how to present it. And I am shrugging up quite a bit here. So you can see that I'm losing a lot of trap. So I definitely need to work on that pose there. Side chest is looking nice. There's still that line in the glute, which we see. Last couple of weeks I haven't been posing it correctly. So the fact that it's still there is nice. I want to bring that hamstring down a little bit more, but we're starting to see detail in there, which shows that size is being added. And the chest from the side, especially in this pose, when I do lift my chest, you can see that there's some thickness there. So overall, I'm not dissatisfied. Still muscle to be added. You can see here that, width is being added as well. Biceps aren't non-existent from the rear anymore. You can actually see that there is a bicep there, and the same with the tricep as well. So I'm not unhappy, just work to be done. Ab and thigh, this is starting to look better the more I'm able to get my arm over my head. So as I'm hitting the ab and thigh now, I'm actually pushing my shoulder blades up, which is elongating the waist, and gives you that nicer kind of shape, which is just something I played around with in my vacuum practice. And I'm happy with how it looks. You can see it more so here. It makes it look a lot straighter as well, which is nice. Most muscular, you can see here that I was towards the end of it, it was getting a little bit difficult. So still some lines in the abs and stuff like that. And the classic pose. I actually played with something slightly different this week, which is tilting the elbow up ever so slightly in that double, and it looks nicer. I think it adds a little bit of depth and gives a little bit of peak to the bicep there, and allows me to push the lat out a little bit more and see the intercostals. So it's definitely something I'm going to be playing around with. It's those slight tweaks in posing that can really make the difference.
I want to interrupt this video just to talk to you about supplements. As a competitive bodybuilder, my performance, my recovery, and my health are all super important in my life. This is why I have been using Train by JP supplements for the last 5 years now. They cover everything from your pre, intra, and post workout nutrition. They also offer health and joint supplementation. They also offer a nice stack and save option, which means that you don't have to think about which individual products you need. They're all there in a bundle package for you with a discount. If you click the link in the description below and use the code GPS10 at checkout, you'll get a 10% off your order. Now back to the video.
We've looked at the physique. Now let's look at the check-in form. So we've got 7 weeks left of this improvement season, and I think that's going to be plenty before things start to go a bit south when it comes to condition-wise. So 13 weeks until prep starts, which is really, really exciting. Tracker-wise, if we look at week 81, week 80 that we were in, we actually ended up dropping 0.3 pounds across the week, which meant that we did have a little bit of a food bump on training days coming into this week. The idea is that we get better training performance, but not pushing food for the sake of pushing food. So yeah, I did end up having a couple of cookies prior to leg day. I honestly don't know why I did that. Honestly don't know why. I think it was a moment of weakness. I also didn't have a great sleep score. So typically when my sleep isn't as great, I didn't actually notice this until I filled it in earlier, but when my sleep isn't great, hunger signaling skyrockets for me. So I'm more likely to go away from the plan if my my sleep isn't great. So it's just something that I like to keep in the back of my mind. Maybe I should keep a closer eye on my sleep score and just see where things are at, so that I can go, right, actually, you know, the reason why you fancy some cookies is because you didn't sleep well last night. So maybe that'd be a way to combat it. HRV is something that I've been looking at improving as well. You can see that it was in the 40s. Well, it was 40 the week before last, and then I've managed to build it up to 47 on average this week. So the idea is to make it even better this week and bring it up into the 50s, which would be really, really cool. Fasted blood glucose is in a really good spot still, and same with blood pressure. So really, really happy with that. If we go over to the timeline, we can see, I'm quite a way in, we've had no changes to food from the previous week. So in week 80, that was there. No changes to anabolics or anything like that. The only thing that we changed was we took Urolithin A out, which you would run for 4 weeks, and put in 5 milligrams of MOTS-c Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then some IGF-1 LR3, 50 micrograms pre and post limbs. So I'm using 50 micrograms split into, so basically 25 micrograms in 2 shots before training, and then 25 micrograms in 2 shots post training, bringing 100 micrograms across each dose. And that is on my lower body days, so posterior, legs, and then my arm day as well. So we're going to keep that in because I've seen some quite good responses from that already. Then we also have the slight calorie bump up going into this week, but nothing to be nothing crazy. If we look at the nutrition, I actually changed my post-workout meal from chicken and rice, mainly because I was just getting a little bit bored of it. So we're just going protein, Rice Krispies, and kiwi. So that went up from 90 to 100. Sourdough increased in the morning from 100 to 125. Potatoes increased from 300 to 350. And the oats so creamy went from 60 grams to 100 grams, where the biggest bump up has been. So other than that, the new lower split that I mentioned last week is very, very nice. I am training at a new gym now, which is Phoenix Gym in Crawley, which means that actually the prime row is out, and we're using a lot of the MFG stuff, which is from Train by JP, or well, Jordan Peters is working with. So I've had to reset a lot of movements. Similarly, like here, the prime machine is a Strive machine. The abductors, that's an MFG one, and just things like that. So there's lots of changes, but it's been really nice to just have a bit of a change of pace. not expect myself to progress week from week with almost like an element of stress. So I think switching gyms, I've been at Phoenix Gym in Burgess Hill for 5 years now. So I think having that change of pace, even though I'm familiar, is a little bit too familiar. So anyway, I'll let you crack on with your day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment on anything that you'd like me to expand on in this video. I'm going to start posting a little bit more exercise tutorials because that seemed to be something that everyone liked to see. And yeah, let me know if there's any exercises you'd like me to cover. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again next week.